Hello and welcome to Big Awk Games unboxing video of the latest Pokemon theme deck for Fates Collide Battle Ruler. So this is for the XY11 new Pokemon set as of making this video, and this theme deck sees the Zygarde in his 50% form as the big shiny. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up, show you what's inside. I'm not going to go through like an in-depth analysis. I'll just butcher this cardboard. I'm not going to go through an in-depth analysis of exactly how to play the deck, because there are far more talented people out there who do those sorts of videos. But what I am going to do is just show you what you get inside, so you have an expectation of what you'd get if you were to buy one of these themes yourself. So you get your Cover Zygarde card on top there, and I'll go through him in a moment. You also get a code for the online game to give you the deck in there. You get a coin in there, which is quite cool. Really nice and shiny, and there's a lot of coin flipping in Pokemon, so yeah, enjoy that. But you get a nice coin to do it with. Leaflet in there just explaining the Fates Collide expansion, so just explains how the break evolutions and the mega evolutions work and EXs in general. And also you've got your collector's card list on the back if you're into collecting the cards. You also get a punch out sheet with your damage counters, so a damage counter being 10 damage, and then you've got your 50s and a single 100 for replacing them when you need to, and then you've also got your special condition markers there as well. Also inside, because this is a theme deck and they're made for starting players, which if you're watching this I'm going to assume you are, you also get a big fold out here, and this is basically a big fold out playmat. So it's got Lugia and Zygarde on it, who are the two main Pokemon from the two new theme decks, and it just shows you where all your different cards go, and also gives you a nice rundown, a very simple rundown of the turns. And my favourite bit is it tells you all the special conditions down the side and how they work, which is very useful to know. And then on the back as well, we have some ideas about the rest of the game. So it goes through the basic anatomy of cards, explains all the different types, and then it goes through all the major rules of the game, explaining how each individual part of it works. So that's really good. And then there's a few little tips from Professor Sycamore himself on there. So very useful if you are a brand new starting player and you haven't got anyone to help teach you. That foldout really does go through and show you everything that's on there. So in this we get our 60 card deck. Just remember to add your Zygarde to it as well, don't forget. So you can keep hold of this. If you don't sleeve the deck, you can keep hold of that. Keep hold of this box and keep your deck in it, so that's nice. So we have some basic energies up here. So you get 8 grass energy in there, so there's 4 at the moment, and we'll come to the rest as we get to them. And now what I'm going to do is just very quickly run through each of the cards. So we have, first up we have Shuckle, and just to explain, it tells you the type, so be it basic, basic stage 1, stage 2, etc. will always be written up there. And then it's 80 HP, so 80 health, it's a grass type, you know that from that symbol up there, and it's got 2 attacks, which is Hide a Berry, which you need at least 1 energy attached of any colour, and it allows you to draw 2 cards and then put a card from your hand on the bottom of your deck, so a little bit of card draw is always good. Then you have Wrap, which is double colourless, so you need 2 energy attached, 30 damage off that attack, and then Flip a Coin. If heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralysed. And if you refer to your fold out, then it will explain how the paralysed condition works. You also have underneath the weaknesses and resistances, so Shuckle has a 2 times weakness to fire, so any fire Pokemon will do 2 times damage to him. And then resistance, he doesn't have one, but if he did, it would be a minus 20 off of the attack. So for example, using a Wrap would only do 10 damage. And then you've got a retreat cost, and this is how much energy you need to discard from the Pokemon if it's the active Pokemon to bring it to the bench and then put another one of your Pokemon out as the active. So you'd have to discard an energy card from him before your attack to be able to do that. So that's Shuckle on there. We then have Wally, who's one of the trainer cards. So you have Pokemon, Energy, and Trainers. Those are your major card types. And this one is a supporter. So the difference with the supporter type trainer card is you can only play 1 supporter each turn. So if you play a Wally, if you play this Wally, then you can't play any other supporter cards. You can play other trainers, but not any other supporters this turn. On Wally, searches your deck for a card that evolves from one of your Pokemon, excluding EXs though, and put it onto that Pokemon, and it does count as evolving it. Shuffle your deck afterwards, and you can use this card during your first turn or on a Pokemon that's put into play this turn. So normally you can't evolve a Pokemon that was played on your first turn or was put into play that turn, but Wally allows you to do it, and you get to search your deck for the card to do it as well. So really good for evolving your Pokemon. Then we've got fighting energy in there. So we have Riolu here, so 60 health, fighting type. Smash Punch does 30 damage for 1 energy. Flip a coin. If tails, the attack does nothing. Oh, so potentially doing nothing, which is quite a common trait of the sort of like the low level basic Pokemon, is flipping a coin and doing nothing, unfortunately. Then we have Cincino there. So I'm going to start passing through some of the Pokemon now, because like I said, not an in-depth analysis, more just an overview. You get a potion item which heals 30 damage from one of your Pokemon. I will note at this stage that if you check out the lists for each of these decks, which are on the back of the boxes, the trainer cards are identical between the two theme decks, except for this one comes with a potion, and the other theme deck comes with a fairy drop instead. But otherwise, the trainers are identical. And if you check out my other video, I'll point that out and show you that as well. So, potion heals 30 damage from one of your Pokemon. Fighting energy, a Minccino. We have a Deerling, a Servine. So this is a stage 1 Pokemon. So this is one of your evolutions. Has to go on top of your basic type, which matches. 70 HP and grass type, so this goes over the top of it and replaces everything. It also has a Pokemon ability, so rather than 2 attacks, it has this ability called Serpentine Strangle. So when you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon, you can flip a coin. And if heads, your opponent's Pokemon is now paralyzed. That's pretty neat. So you're potentially getting a cool little benefit from evolving, so that's quite cool. And then for 1 energy, it can Vine Whip to do 20 damage. So Pokemon abilities do what they say on the tin. So take a read of them each time. Some of them are continuous abilities, they're always in effect. Some of them are just one-times like this, so it's just when you use it to evolve from your hand. So note, if you used Wally that we saw earlier to try and evolve this Pokemon, it wouldn't work because you have to do it from hand. So yeah, that's one of your stage 1s. Then we have a Grass Energy, Bibitar, which is another stage 1, a Snivy, a Wormadam, and we have Fighting Energy, a Hawlucha, Shauna, Burmine, more Energy, Tierno, draws 3 cards, Larvitar, a Professor's Letter, very good card to have. So it's an item, so you can play as many items as you want during a turn. Search your deck for up to 2 basic energy cards, reveal them, put them into your hand, shuffle your deck afterwards. Nice and simple. Then we have the Pokemon Fan Club, another Servine, a Switch Energy. Then we have Zygarde. So as we saw earlier, we have one here. The difference being the one off of the cover, as you can see, is a holo version. And we also get a normal version in the deck. So he's a bit of a stronger, more powerful basic Pokemon. As you can see, he has 120 health, he's a fighting type. And he has 2 attacks. First one is Rumble for fighting in a colourless, it does 30 damage. And the defending Pokemon can't retreat during your opponent's next turn. So they get stuck fighting Zygarde, which sounds fun. And then we have Geostrike, which is 2 fighting in a colourless to do 120 damage. And this attack does 10 damage to each of your benched Pokemon. So it's a bit of a downside to having such a powerful attack on a basic Pokemon, is that it unfortunately does damage your own Pokemon on your own bench. Which is a bit of a shame, but you do get to attack for 120, so this is enough to knock out even something like this Zygarde. So it's not, yeah, it's a bit of a downside, but it's not horrendous considering you're probably going to be KOing your opponent as you do it. So fighting, Minccino, an energy pouch. This is a really cool item. So this one is a Pokemon tool. So as it says here next to it, attach your Pokemon tool to one of your Pokemon that doesn't already have a Pokemon tool attached to it. So you can only ever put one Pokemon tool on a Pokemon, unless obviously the card says otherwise. And what it does is, if the Pokemon this card is attached to is knocked out by damage from an opponent's attack, put all basic energy attached to that Pokemon into your hand. So what normally happens, say you had your Zygarde out and he had 3 energy attached, and then your opponent, well, Geostriked him himself and dealt 120 damage to him, he'd get KO'd. Those 3 energy that are attached would go to the discard with him. Whereas if you had an energy pouch attached, you'd get those 3 energy back to your hand, and then you can use them on subsequent turns to put onto your other Pokemon. So I really like this tool. I think it's very cool, very good for sort of saving you for later turns. And we have a stage 3, so this is Superior. So you would need this to evolve, you would have had to already evolved, so Servine from Snivy. And you can only evolve the Pokemon once per turn. So once you've evolved it one stage, you have to wait till the next turn to evolve it into Superior. And what it does is it changes its health to 140. Still stays as a grass type, and it has 2 attacks. So Coil for a colourless is 40 damage, and during your next turn this Pokemon's attack does 60 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. That's quite nice. So it's doing 100 on the next attack, next turn if you use Coil again. And then Slashing Strike for a single grass is 80 damage guaranteed, but this Pokemon can't use Slashing Strike during your next turn. So you'd have to alternate between using Coil and Slashing Strike if you wanted to. But yeah, so that's a stage 2 Pokemon. You have another Shuckle, Energy, Tierno, Deerling, more Energy, Horlucha, under the Professor's Letter, Larvitar, Fighting, Wormadam, Carbink, Shauna, Fighting, Cincino, Butar, Snivy, Grass, Femi, Switch, Lucario, and a Fighting. And Lucario is just a really cool beat stick, as they refer to them as, because there's no tricks or shenanigans or anything with his abilities. He's just a simple 70 damage for 3 energy. Nice and simple there. So those are all the individual cards and all the components you get inside the Battle Ruler theme deck. The idea of the deck is very simple. It is just to just play out your most superior Pokemon, get them onto the field, get their energy onto them, and you punch your opponent really hard with them. So there's no sort of like tricks or combos you need to learn for this deck. It's nice and simple. It's a great way to get started with Pokemon. If you're curious at all about the game, theme decks are the place to start, because it is a pre-made 60 card deck. You don't have to worry about doing anything or building it all up. It's a great building block. So you can use this to sort of go on, you can buy some boosters and then start expanding the deck more, etc. So yeah, no, these theme decks are a great place to start if you're brand new to Pokemon. I always highly recommend them to any new player, because they're always really fun to play, so why not? So there we go. So that's everything in the Battle Ruler deck. So remember, all the individual cards you've seen can be bought and sold on our website, bigorbitcards.co.uk. Remember to like and subscribe. Check out my other videos. If you have any questions or anything you'd like to ask, feel free to leave them in the comments below and I'll get back to you. And aside from that, I hope you've enjoyed watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.